vete buscando las armas más brutas y salvajes que puedas encontrar con Solega, porque el próximo 7 de noviembre llega Predator: Badlands, el regreso a los cines de la saga Depredador después de 7 años, con un toque diferente, ya que esta vez el prota es el propio Yautja. Para ir entrando en materia, hemos podido hablar con sus protagonistas: Elle Fanning, que interpreta a Thea, una sintética de la Weyland-Yutani de la saga Alien, y Dimitrius Schuster-Kolamatangi, que es Dek, el Yautja que ha sido exiliado al planeta más chungo de la galaxia, donde todo te intenta matar. También hemos hablado con su director, Dan Trachtenberg, el resurrector de la saga Depredador, y nos cuentan entre los tres algunas claves divertidas de esta nueva perspectiva de la saga.
I think people like that he's an underdog. Mm-hmm. I think everyone loves an underdog story. He's a Yautja that is born, defective. Essentially, he's born undersized, and in Yautja culture, you're supposed to cull the weaknesses. You're supposed to, kill off the offspring that isn't really pulling their weight. So I guess people will really like Dek's tenacity, his resilience and his never let up attitude, that he will become, the greatest Yautja despite all of these things that are stacked against him. So I think, people will really resonate and be inspired by his ability to just flush it all and get in there.
Yes, I mean, you want to, I think the line of, the people that have been, iconic Weyland-Yutani synths before, that was like in my head. I wanted to make a synth like we've kind of never seen before and make her special. And it definitely, Dan really dreamed that up, and her personality really shines through in the script. But then, putting it on screen is a different story. So we really worked together, and she's the most advanced android we'd ever seen before, and I think that was to our benefit, because we could make her emotions a bit more human-like, or her capacity for empathy and to feel. And I also like Dek. She is broken herself, and so she has this kind of fire in her. It's just in a different way than Dek shows it, but she brings him out of his shell, and I love her positive personality, and I think her arc is quite special in the film too, because she grows in confidence, and she grows in her capabilities, and starts to realize that she's not just a tool. She's now a part of this clan and this family that they create together, and so they're the way that their relationship evolves is very uplifting in a Predator film.
In a Predator way.
Yeah, in a Predator way, yeah.
It was difficult. It was definitely a challenge, only because he is Yautja, right? He's not human, so he doesn't express emotions exactly the same. He so translating that and kind of still keeping that primal animalistic kind of vibe to the Predator, while also having expressions that people can relate to, was kind of like a little balance that I was trying to play with. But speaking with Dan and working with the team a lot to ensure that we stay true to, the premise that he is a predator, but now we're seeing him as a protagonist. How can we relate to him? How can we invest in his journey? Finding ways that we could, insert certain emotional, scenes, and not make it like, what's the word? Not make it feel fake, not make it feel unrealistic.
Alec is one of my most treasured collaborators. He's been around the franchise since it started back in 1987, working under Stan Winston, and is incredibly talented, has made so many of our favorite creatures over the years. And we started off collaborating in Badlands with Dec and his family, and that expanded out to the creatures of Genna. And then when we realized we were going to be shooting in New Zealand, Alec came down there and had this incredible moment meeting the folks over at Weta Workshop, who were going to take over the design, the physical designs of the creature. And you know, Weta was honored to meet a legend like Alec, and Alec was inspired to meet the incredible artists over at Weta, and it was like witnessing a moment of cinematic history. And this movie is, you know, benefits from the art of both of those kinds of brilliant minds of OG Alec and the new artist there at Weta. It was really incredible. And then of course, all the VFX artists that took over the performance that was driven by Demetrius, but then had to translate all that into a face that is filled with mandibles. If you could imagine the stuff they had done previously and all the stuff that we've been wowed by, all the CG creatures, like from Gollum to the Planet of the Apes, they're all humanoid faces. There's a direct comparison to the way that the human face moves to portray emotions to what the face of a monkey or the Gollum creature makes, you know, and the Predator had a lot that was getting in the way of that, and it took a lot of craft and art to figure out how to portray those emotions. It was quite the journey, but one I'm so glad we took, because now we have this crazy monster at the helm of this giant movie, and we all can sort of find our emotions in it. Funny enough, I actually there's a game that I love that really does not get enough credit. It was Avalanche Studios did the Mad Max video game that you can get for like nothing now. Everyone owes itself to play this game. It came out right around the time of Fury Road. I think some other huge games came out at the time, so it was sort of overlooked. But it's an awesome adaptation. It feels like you really are playing the franchise. You are playing the movie. But all the fighting mechanics are great, very Arkham style fighting mechanics, and the driving is awesome, and it's just a fantastic game. So Avalanche Studios comes to mind. But I get the idea of an Ubisoft, you know, or a Naughty Dog, you know, making a Predator game would be pretty darn cool. Alf. Love it, dude. Love it. Yeah, it's hard for me to come out and say something because I do have some sway and people can take it for more than it might be worth. But I do like the notion of the Predator mixing it up with other species, not just the ones that we created for this movie. But I think you're insinuating another franchise's species and not the Xenomorph. I think that's really cool as an idea. But until then, you know, we love creating new stuff for it to kill as well. That's sort of the fun of this movie. Is it's not you know, hunting down humans. It's hunting down other creatures that all have their own ferocious aspects that he's got to contend with.
Recuerda que este viernes 7 de noviembre te espera Predator Badlands desde el planeta donde es fácil llegar, pero lo de salir ya es otra cantar. Y no olvides darle a like y suscribirte al canal de Hobby Consolas porque los Yaudia siempre nos vigilan y no queremos acabar en su lista. ¡Hasta luego!